Good morning, everyone. Hey, sorry, I trying to get the right buttons over here. Oh, I got brand new system, and I trying to get this stuff working. Anyway, I'll get it. Thank you guys for joining us for our first ever coffee with Mel. Kind of like a coffee hour. Obviously, I am running for mayor, and we figured the best way to get out to people is get to talk to them one on one. And My name is Mel Raposo. And as you can see, you can give us a call in if you want to talk story or ask a question. The number is on the screen, 6450243. Next week, I had to order some equipment to get the phone into our system. So right now, we're going to be using the speakerphone. So I'm hoping it's working, um, but it should work. Next week we'll have it integrated in, so it'll be just like the radio station. It'll be pretty cool. So anyway, um, we have been on the campaign trail now since February 9th, I believe, is when we officially filed, and we have been making our way around the communities. And actually, by the way, can you guys hear me? If anyone's on, can you guys put in the chat if you can hear me and you can see me okay? I want to make sure this stuff is working because again, this is our first episode. We do I do a weekly podcast, Coconut Wireless, and we've got that one all the kinks worked out. But this one is new, and again, I already got one text that, hey, mute your mic while you're on the countdown screen. So thank you, Scott, for that. But I just want to know if you guys are watching, just type in the chat if you can even hear me. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I see some thumbs up coming up. So okay, we're looking good. Hey Morgan, what's up? What is up? Yeah. So again, first episode. The whole objective here is to get in front of y'all and give you guys an opportunity to speak to me directly, live and in color, while enjoying a nice cup of coffee. By the way, today I am drinking my Quiet Valor coffee. It is the Honduras region beans. It's delicious, and oh, I love coffee. So grab your cup of coffee, whatever your favorite one is, and kick back and relax. We'll talk a little bit about the campaign, a little about the election that's coming up, but more importantly, I want to hear from you. And you can either again just type your question in the chat, or you can just call in and ask me directly. I'd appreciate whatever question, man. There is no limits here. This is we've done a bunch of meet and greets across the island, and the response has been tremendous. The best part of any of those discussions are when we answer questions and listen to concerns from our constituents. We typically do that all day, but when we at my normal day at work as the council chair, I'm fielding a lot of calls, a lot of emails, but most of them are complaints about issues that they have not been able to resolve. And but in these sessions, including these coffee hours right here, I'll be able to hear from you on issues that you may not want to call about, right? The county. You don't want to report something, but you just have a question about, hey Mel, how would you handle this? Hey Mel, what's your position on this? And that's what this is all about. So we're looking forward to a very productive series of this will happen every Monday morning at 7 a.m. I know it's early, but I think that's the best time to catch people before they go to work. What's up, Marie and Keith? Appreciate you guys jumping on. Yeah, and just pick my brain, and you know, this next mayoral election is going to be an important one. It is. The Derek is terming out, so we are going to get a new mayor, and this new mayor is going to be handed over some challenges in infrastructure, in housing, in homelessness, in drug addiction. And so, I mean, if I'm the voter, which I am, I want to do my due diligence in exploring all the potential candidates, whether it's for council or mayor or state house, state senate, Congress, president. And it's, you can only do so much with banners and signs and radio ads and newspaper ads. What I'm finding is what the people really want is they want to be able to get belly to belly, and ask the candidate directly. And in these forums that we have, by the way, if you haven't seen the forums, we did one forum. Sorry, I had this little sneezing fit right before I got on. I don't know if it's nerves, but cannot be nerves because I enjoy doing this. So, um, But they did a forum at KKCR, Permanent Affordable Living Hawaii. Did a forum with myself and Mr. Cavallo. It was at KKCR Studios. It was live streamed on Ho'ike on the YouTube channel, and that is actually on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't checked out YouTube, go to YouTube and search out Mel Raposo. Go to my channel. You'll see a bunch of playlists. One of them is our Coconut Wireless podcast. I just created a new one for Coffee with Mel, so you'll be able to watch the replays. But on that forum, you get asked questions, same questions, different candidates, and you don't have the one-on-one interaction like you do in a true coffee hour or a town hall or a meet and greet. And I know we are not going to, just physically impossible to get in front of every single voter on Kauai. So we are doing the meet and greets around the island, but this virtual town hall or this virtual coffee hour. Hang on. I forgot to put up my comment screen. Okay, here we go. Morgan, good morning. Oh my God. Marie is here. Keith is here, all the way from Thailand. Wow, man, I wish you could vote, bro. And Vaughn, allergic to Mondays. Maybe that's the problem, man. Maybe that's the problem. Now, guys, I'm a serious guy, but I love to have fun too, right? Appreciate you guys. Cindy, good morning, Cindy. One of our good friends. So, yeah, I forgot to put the comments up. So, yeah, it's up. So, if you guys put a comment, I'll flash it on the screen so everyone can see. But, yeah, these town halls or these meet and greets or these coffee hours, these virtual coffee hours, hopefully we'll be able to reach those that cannot make it to a town hall or do not want to go to a town hall, don't have the time to go to a town hall. But it's the same. All right, we got our first question. What is your vision for drug addiction and mental health illness? First of all, we need facilities, Cindy. We need facilities. We have a beautiful facility sitting right up there, up Kapaya, the Adolescent Drug Treatment Center. The only thing it doesn't have is funding. So that is one of my priorities as far as getting that thing funded and operated so we can get the residential going. We do have outpatient services are being done by the YMCA of Honolulu, and the Department of Education has 2 classrooms up there to work with their ALPS training program. So the residential is the only one, which is the most critical component, and it is funding. And we have solicited funding from our resident billionaires unsuccessfully. We have solicited funds from our state legislature and unsuccessfully. So that is something I believe the county needs to take the lead on, that we have an amazing facility, state of the art, and that's something that my commitment is that we will move to get that doors open should I be elected. As far as mental health issues, I always say the mayor's voice is louder and stronger than the council chair's voice. Yes, I've been on a council for 18 years. Yes, I've been a council chair for, I believe, 10. But my voice can only go so far. My authority to execute solutions only goes so far. And that is why we made the decision to run for mayor, because the mayor has a much louder voice, much lobbying voice. And there is no doubt or no dispute in the fact that we need mental health services. And listen, I just came back from DC talking with other constituents or colleagues from across the country, and everyone's going through the same thing. And it's just something that we need to focus on and get done. Hang on, this is my first time, so I have a call. So let's try to call. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yep, it's Randy.
Randy, are you calling with the live show, or are you calling me about something else?
The coffee.
Okay, perfect. What's your question, Randy? Can you guys hear Randy?
Well, I just thought I'd do a call in.
Yes.
I just need my coffee. But so what's your temperature at this point? Are you feeling like we're on the right path?
As far as the campaign is concerned?
Yes.
I definitely feel we're on the right path. I definitely feel that, going across, and again, we did a meet and greet up at Kakela Makai last night, yesterday afternoon, and the response was just tremendous. And the beautiful part was I didn't know any of the people that showed up. And of course, everyone has heard of Mel Raposo, and for good or bad, but they have. But after we had that belly to belly discussion, after we had the very intimate discussions on issues that affect them, we secured a number of new supporters that actually left with bumper stickers and information. So I am feeling really good about this. And the only way we're going to win this is by doing what we're doing and is getting in front of people, Randy. And that's a great question. Again, I'm not taking this for granted. Bernard is a very popular candidate, and I have nothing against Bernard. I believe I have better solutions, and but again, it's getting in front of people so we can actually talk story. And again, okay, good. They can hear you, Randy, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So we're gonna keep on plugging away. We're gonna keep on doing as many of these meet and greets as we can, and I think we'll do okay.
I think you're actually doing great. I knew about your event, but I figured why attend when we don't need the same people like me? It's a chance for you to meet new people who don't know you. And just my own experience the past few weeks is people appreciate and recognize Bernard's work and time, but they also understand, given the external state situation, we really need to look for new kind of leadership and style, nothing personal, just recognition that it's time to look for someone else. And I agree with them that you're the person at the right time at this time, because the island needs you and a different change in leadership style. So let's continue to go forward.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate the call, and thank you for testing out the system. Now we know that the phone calls work. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, so it does work. Beautiful. Yeah, Randy, thank you so much. Yeah, typically you go to a coffee hour or you do an event and it's all your supporters. That does absolutely no good, because the idea is to get in front of new people, so they can do their due diligence and they can learn about the candidates so they can make smart choices. Okay, Claire, I'd like to hear plans on helping homeless population on Kauai. It is definitely a priority of mine, and if you go to our website at melformayor.org, you'll see it on there. We got to create safe zones. We got to create safe zones. We cannot continue to treat homeless and houseless people that they're criminals. And I have been pushing for years. Again, council chair can strongly encourage but doesn't have the authority to execute. But we have numerous county parking lots that we could be using as safe zones for the homeless people that are living in their cars, and open up the facilities for them. The transitional housing program that that's in place right now is working extremely well. Credit to the current administration, but we got to expand that, because we got to get people. And again, homelessness back in the day was typically people that struggled with society, but that's not the case anymore. We legitimate homeless houses, people that have been evicted because their homes have been sold to outside buyers, and they have no choice and they have nowhere to go, and they can't afford it. So I believe we do have an obligation to take care of them. I think safe zones right now is, rather than just keep kicking them out of places and having them move somewhere else, we need to definitely find locations where they can be safe, dry, and warm, and our keiki and kupuna can actually have a great night's sleep. Good morning, Bozu. If billionaires not assisting can remove this fronting their estates. I wish it was that simple to move these facilities. Cindy, you know how it is, how long it takes. How can you get a new landfill for Kauai when Bernard has failed for 2 terms? That is going to be one of, again, my top 2 things, the 3 things that my first 100 days. Number 1 is sign an emergency proclamation for solid waste, 1 for wastewater, and start the discussions to open up our Canefield roads, to open up alternate access routes in the event of emergencies and when we get too much traffic. But yes, the landfill is definitely on the priority. The idea is to not have a landfill, and it's to get rid of our trash through recycling and reusing, and whatever's left, throw it in a facility that can convert that trash to some kind of energy. That is the idea. But I'm telling you right now, my commitment is to move that to the forefront. That and wastewater will be on the forefront of our public works projects, and not necessarily, again, we politicians typically want to do a lot of things in their term of office that are good stuff, fun stuff, amenities, what I call. But at this point, because we have done all the amenities, and now we gotta refocus on infrastructure. So that is it. So yes, we will definitely need to have a landfill. It doesn't have to be a mega landfill if we properly divert and we dispose of our leftover trash. We're using the newest technologies available. I have a lot of ideas that I have actually shared with the administration, and they have chosen not to pursue. But that is why we're in the situation we're in. Again, I talk about the vision. I was asked, what is the difference between you and your opponents? My vision is 30, 40 years. My vision isn't 4 years or 8 years, the mayoral term. My vision is 30, 40 years. If we had that vision 20 years ago, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. We wouldn't be having this discussion regarding solid waste or wastewater. The fact of the matter is there was never any effort to produce a plan to accommodate this island's infrastructure for the next 30 or 40 years. And that is why we're in a situation we're in today. So it's a change in mindset. It's a change in priorities that needs to happen. And that's where I think what Randy was talking about and what we're hearing across the island is people are ready for that change. People are normally resistant to change. And it's ironic that as we go around, people are now saying, yeah, no, we need change. We need change. And I'm glad to hear that, because I am willing to make that change. I am willing to make those bold decisions that will create that change. Awesome. Okay, Elliot says we can hear Randy. Sorry, I'm going to go through all these comments. Oh, this is exciting, man. This is exciting. I do not know what positions you take on important local issues. I would like to hear especially specifically what you will do for the community. I think if you go to the website, Claire, you can see my priorities. And again, if you have specifics, because I don't want this an hour to be of Melraposo talking to you all, but I think you'll pick up my priorities and my plans as we get through these questions. Or feel free to give me a call. That number on the screen, that's also my cell number. I don't know how many politicians give out their cell number, but if you look at my calling cards, ever since I got elected, I leave my cell phone number on there. We need action, funding in place, laws in place to help KPD better to do the job. Money foolishly spent moving homeless from one place. Yes, Cindy, that is true. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, funding is not the issue. Funding is not the issue. Trust me, this is my 18th year in the county council, 18 budgets. That is not the issue. The issue is priorities. And that is where we need a new mayor that's going to realign the priorities of this community and exercise his or her authority to engage in those issues head on. That is what we need. The time for talk is done. The time for talk is done. And Cindy, I've tried to help you so many times. Again, as a council chair, there's only so much I can do. We can strongly recommend or strongly encourage the administration to do things. And that's the decision I had to make was, do I want to stay on the council and continue to strongly encourage, or get to be the mayor and say, this is what we're going to do? Yes, Claire, sleeping in cars is not a solution. Yeah, my ideas, like I said, is safe zones. Safe zones, also included in safe zones would be facilities where these families can sleep. I made a recommendation actually back when Bernard was the mayor to convert Hanamalo Beach Park into a safe zone for a 90-day pilot program. We would bring in the tents, the military tents. I was in the military. I deployed to South Korea. I was up there. One time I was there for 3 months in a tent in 20-degree weather with heaters. Was it luxurious? Absolutely not. Was it bearable? Yes, it was. It was comfortable. We had wooden floors. We had cots. We had showers. We had restrooms. It does work. But again, talking about or waiting for permanent facilities to be built is not the answer. I know. I talk to homeless people. They would be happy to move into a tent in a shared community area. So that is definitely what we are, the direction we're heading. Yes, we need a shelter, absolutely. And, funding is always an issue. And again, the mayor, my voice is going to be very loud at the state level about getting resources to our island to take care of our people. What's my vision on Cocoa Palms? I think we should condemn Cocoa Palms. I think we should take Cocoa Palms back. That developer has done nothing but but defraud our county. And I'll say it. I know my advisor is going to say, Mel, don't be so harsh, but I am up to here. I'm bringing it back on the agenda in April to have a discussion with our county administration on what next, because they started, they stopped, they start, they stop, and my idea is to just that cannot continue. Oh, my daughter is on from Texas. Oh my God! Good morning, sweetheart, and Jahari and Jaheem. I hope they're watching. I got my 2 grandkids. Oh man. Part of the reason I'm running is because my 2 kids live on the mainland because they can't afford to live here, so it is a little bit of personal. Um, I hope our homeless issues could be top priority. They need a safe place to go. Absolutely, Marie. That's my commitment. And a lot of it is going to be dependent on communities that are willing to work with the county to accept these facilities in their neighborhoods. I'm be straight. Because whenever you talk about that, the neighborhoods, no, no, no. But it's like anything else. Yeah, decisions got to be made, and I can assure you that it will. We need change, halt development until we address sewer infrastructure. Cindy, that's going to be the whole basis of if we decide to move forward with eminent domain. That's going to be the basis for the legal fight that will happen, because number one, we need it as a public use, but number two, the times have changed significantly since those permits were issued, and I don't think that development fits um, the lifestyle we have now. So I agree 100%. Oh my God, I might have to get a moderator for this because this is rough. Let's see. That's what happened, Mike. That's what happens when you kick the can down the road for years. Now it is all caught up. $14,500 for a water meter. Yes, Michael. There is no more road to kick the can down. And the next mayor, whoever it is, will have a challenge. And the question you got to answer is, what mayor do you believe has the willingness to make those tough decisions? Civic engagement among younger and infrequent voters continues to be a challenge. How will you inspire and empower these groups to participate? We're doing it right now. We have a special committee set up in our campaign that are out there talking to young kids. We've registered probably a dozen so far. Well, we've got a long way to go. But I think, Derek started the process of bringing on younger high school seniors, I believe, onto our commissions as commissioners or part-time commissioners, ex-officials. I plan to continue that, but also getting them engaged is going to be critical. I do work with a lot of kids. I work with the Pop Warner. I speak to the kids up at Kaua Foundation, Aaron Hoff's organization. These kids want to be a part of our community. We got to find them the pathway. But civic engagement to me is where, like I said, without the community getting engaged in government, then you don't have good government. You just don't. And that's why we're going to create this office, and it's going to be called the Office of Professional Conduct, or Professional Accountability. And this is going to be an office set up with existing resources, so no more additional costs. But this office will be tasked with accepting all calls. So if I get to be the mayor, within that first 100 days, there's going to be one phone number dedicated for all constituent concerns. And I don't care if it's a state, local, county, federal, private issue, but all the calls will come into that one number. That number will be logged, tracked, routed to where it needs to go, and followed up on. And as the mayor, that office will be right under the mayor's office or within the mayor's office. And that the mayor will have the ability every 2 weeks get a report, what constituent concerns are still outstanding and why. And if it requires the mayor's intervention, it will happen. Our constituents aren't getting the service that they deserve and that they pay for. And I think that is kind of, we need to restore that faith back into our constituents. And that's how I believe that'll happen relatively quickly. And but I think that'll do a lot and hopefully restore some of the faith. You have helped me, and oh yeah, well, you're welcome, Claire. Cindy, I try. Yes, I like your idea about Hanamalo Park. That's a much better idea. Claire, it's a great idea. Thank you. But again, back then when Bernard was the mayor, one of his staff members did live down there and did not want to do it, so that kind of ended it. But again, that's what I'm talking about. getting them into one location where social services can be provided. You know, right now we have nonprofit organizations running around, dropping off food, checking on these people, and they spend a lot of their day in traffic driving from here to there, where if we had them in one safe zone, they could come and treat and serve all of the community in one stop. But that's the mindset that I am on right now. Dump is number one. Sewage plants, the cesspool conversion law will hit harder than most homeowners can handle. By the way, cesspool technology is 5,000 years old. Septic system is 2,000 years old. Sorry, that was Ed. Ed, you're absolutely correct. I'm trying to get that cesspool law repealed because it's not, for number one, it's not going to happen. Number two, it's not enforceable. Number three, we have created a market for septics now that went from $20,000 a system to 60. That was an attempt by the legislature to appease environmentalists, knowing that septics aren't very much better for the impact to the environment than cesspools. And that I got that straight from an environmental engineer. That's an environmentalist that said, no, that it's I mean, it's better, of course, but it's not that much better. So sewerization is the key. Again, I talked early on in the show, I'll sign an emergency proclamation for wastewater as well, because wastewater, we need to have a sewer plan. I've been asking for a sewer plan for over 20 years. We have not gotten a sewer plan from any administration, and that is definitely something that will be on the priority list for my administration. Claire, I appreciate you for joining our discussion. This is the only way you're gonna get to know me, and this is straight talk. This ain't scripted. And any of you that would want to go sit and gotta have coffee. Okay, sorry, gotta have coffee. But I'll pay for the coffee, and we'll go have a cup of coffee somewhere and talk story if you want to have a more private moment. But yes, I appreciate you guys for joining in. Leo, good morning, Brother Mel. Any thoughts on helping the animal problem here on Kauai? Oh, that one's tough. I would need to know what specific problem. If it's feral cats, you know, I think we're having discussions. We're in budget. We'll start budget on the 15th of March, and one of the agencies that we fund is the Humane Society. So yes, Leo, we're gonna have to talk offline on down, because I think I know you are a wizard in animal. You're an angel, Leo. I don't know if you realize that, but you're an angel in animal rescues and saves. But yeah, I'd love to see. I'm not gonna comment on something that I'm not sure of. You know, I'm not gonna fake an answer to make you think, oh yeah, okay, I promise I'm gonna help. I want to chat with you, Leo, and help me understand what we can do better. Let's just say that. Okay. Leiko from Ho'ike, good morning. Great to hear you. Oh, no, it's great to see you. Mahalo for holding this. I love this. Community-led, government-supported. That should have been my logo. Son of a gun. That's why I love talking to people face-to-face. You can't do this on a radio ad. Can't do it on a brochure. I love this. Oh, man. This is a great idea. You know who thought about this idea? Me. Yeah, because I love coffee. Appreciate you guys so much. You don't even know. We need to work together. KPD, Dillon, state and county. It's easy to east. Oh, for them to say that. Okay, yeah, easy for them to say not my jurisdiction. Correct. Now we got sheriffs out here giving tickets, which I'm not complaining. But another thing we do, and again, this is all on my website. But I will have a community advisory work group that will meet every month, and no county employees in there, no department heads. I want to hear from them, because they only tell you, hey, Mayor, you're doing a good job, Mayor. You're doing a good job. Now I want to hear from the community in all different sectors, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's visitor, construction, all. And every month to get feedback from the people on the ground of it, what's actually happening out there. Because the mayor is so isolated from reality, because he has layers of administrators in between, where I really cannot understand what's going on if I just rely on what my department heads are telling me. So this monthly meeting will give me a better understanding of what's happening on the ground, and by the people that are actually there. So we can make decisions that'll be collaborative with the government or the community organizations, and I am so excited, guys. You can tell by my voice. I'm not a pretty calm guy, but I'm excited because the more I think about what we can do, you know, people say, why you like run for mayor, Mel? It's so messed up. Well, it's because that's why. Because I think there's so much opportunity to improve, and we will celebrate the small successes because they're right there. It just takes that bold leadership to make the decision to get it done. So yes, I am excited, completely, totally excited. Let's see. Mike says, Mel, you may need to look into the reason why the comments section continues to disappear when I click on full screen. Not sure if anyone else is having this issue. Whoa, that's beyond my pay grade, Michael Cox. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I use this fancy system where I can stream live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and it works. It looks fine on my end, but yeah, I honestly don't. Might be a settings feature on your computer or your phone. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, septic is worse. That I've been told. Um, Larry, didn't the septic tank law pass under tainted conditions or bribes? Oh, I don't know. Feral cats. Uh, Again, I'm going to rely on expertise from people like you to move forward on that. Yeah, yeah. Um, how can we work to build our agriculture here in Kauai and our dependency for tourism on Kauai? Hang on, Mark. Let me just get it. Good morning, Darson. Mark, you know, from when I first got into office, we every politician talks about that, right? Agriculture, diversifying our economy, and first of all, we are not going to replace tourism. Let's just, yeah, anybody that tells you that, any politician that tells you that we're going to replace tourism is basically lying to you. It's not going to happen. However, I think when we talk about diversifying our economy, the only opportunity I think that's there is ag, just because that's our history, that's our culture, that's just why we're here. Yes, we have to do more for to incentivize agriculture here on Kauai. We see what's going on with Kauai Coffee right now. We got a new landowner come in, buying out all these properties, and basically making it very difficult for our agriculture companies to survive. Thank God they're still in negotiations, but I'm not sure what the future is for Kauai Coffee. Likewise, we have so much ag lands on these islands. Many of these ag lands that are dedicated to agriculture. Hang on, caller. I think I have a caller here, but yeah, Mark, we gotta take care and incentivize ag, and that is basically working with the college to get more kids interested. Caller, you might have to call back. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I definitely have to get a moderator. um, Errol Kaneshiro, Councilmember Kaneshiro, and I are working on an ag dedication bill that's going to drop on the floor Wednesday, and that's going to simplify the process to get your ag dedicated for the tax relief. But again, it's boiled down to infrastructure, water, and the state needs to help. That's the frustration is, we are so limited to what we can do, but it's the state that needs to step up and provide these resources so our farmers can thrive. Now, the low-hanging fruit really is requiring the DOE to utilize local produce. See, the farmers, they don't have the infrastructure resources to expand their farms unless they have a buyer that's willing to buy their produce. And, exporting is costly and difficult, but if we had the market, if the state was to say, hey, in the next 2 years, you got to buy 35% of your produce for your school lunches from local farmers. And the year after that, it's 45%, 55%. Then you slowly allow these farmers to expand their farms so they can actually grow more produce because they have the market. So yes, it's one that should not be as difficult, but it is. Ag zone lands and homes need to be used for ag and not 6-month visitors. Oh well, you know where I stand on that. We're actually working on a bill. Fern and I are working on a bill right now that's going to prohibit or restrict non-farm use dwellings or amenities on ag lands. such as swimming pools and tennis courts. Mm-hmm. Not very popular, but that it is what it is. I agree with you 100%. Ag should be ag. I'm not opposed to having an ag residence, an ag farm dwelling. Billy DeCosta and I passed a law last year where we allowed ag parcels to have an extra unit on it, because we wanted these generational families that had ag lands that couldn't do anything with it. They're 75 years old. They no longer can farm it, so they lose the ag dedication. They're paying these taxes, but allowing them to put up an 800 square foot unit for their kids or grandkids, to me, I thought was fair. But some of the abuses that goes on out there is incredible. So I agree with you 100%. We got to really tighten up what's happening out there on ag lands, especially out there on the North Shore. So yes, wow, that was like a what do you call that? Like the gauntlet. But I appreciate you guys. Hang on. Again, guys, this was my. I get my coffee from Quiet Valor. It's good stuff. You get single source blends all over the place. Check it out if you guys want to. Anyway, we did have a call that came. I was answering a question. So if you called, call back and we'll get you on. I wanted to give you some information on the election. It's coming up. Primary election is August 8th. August 8th is the primary election. And for the mayor's race, the top two candidates will move on to the general. The general election is on November 3rd. Deadline to register. If you're not registered, or if you know someone that's not registered, July 29th is the primary election deadline to register, and October 26th for the general election. So again, if you have people that are in your household or people that you work with that are not registered, you can go to my website. Let me put this website up right here, and right there on the front of the page, there's a little button. Of course, you can click to volunteer and donate. But this one here, register to vote, they can actually register to vote on our website. Please, please, please have them register. Get them all registered. We need people to vote. So deadline to register for the primary is July 29th, October 26th for the general. You should be receiving your ballots in the mail by July 21st for the primary election and August 16th for the general election. That's when the ballots, you should be getting them at home. If you don't receive a ballot for some reason within a couple of days, make sure you let elections office know. We do have issues, and you may not have updated an address, whatever the case may be. If you don't get a ballot within a week of July 21st for the primary or October 16th for the general, call me. I can check on it, or call elections office. And the voting services centers where you can actually go in and vote. July 27th through August 8th it will be open, and for the primary, and then October 20th to November 3rd, which is the general election, you can actually go in and register there. So, and yes, you can register at elections office as well. I've seen the Mel for Mayor signs going up. How can I get a sign for my yard? Very simple. You can go to melformayor.org right there on the screen, and you can hit the volunteer tab. They'll ask you how you want to volunteer. If you want a yard sign, a banner, you want to host a coffee hour, or you can just let me know. Call me at that number, text me. Text is always better because, believe it or not, I'm pretty busy throughout the day with my normal job as council chair. So text always works best. Just text me your name, your address, and whether you want a sign or a banner, and we'll make sure we get that to you. If you see the small arrow on the lower right, click on it and it should show you the comments. Oh, that's for Michael Cox. There's also walk-in voting for those who prefer to. Yes, that's at the voter service centers, which is at the election office. So, yeah, I like voting in person. I do. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy filling the bubbles, or I want to do it in person. So yeah, the voter service centers, again, July 27th, it opens until the primary, and then October 20th until the general. So yeah, if you prefer doing it in person, you can do it right there at the voter service center. Otherwise, you get the ballot in the mail, and if you're okay with that, do it. But this most important thing is that you vote. There were occasions where I did vote. I think, in fact, the last election I did vote at home using the ballot, and I just dropped it off at the voter box at the elections office rather than put it in the mail. Not that I don't trust the mail. It's just that I want to make sure my vote gets counted. You know, very informative coffee hour. Thank you. No, thank you. And it's not informative if you guys are not here. If you get 50% plus one of the total votes in the primary, would you win outright? You know, I meant to check because it used to be that way. I think it's that way for the prosecutor. That's why our prosecutor never had a general election. But it's going to be very difficult to get 50% plus one when you have more than two candidates running. But man, I'm going to look it up. I should know that, actually. I'm embarrassed to say, but it used to be that way. But for some reason, I'm thinking that it was changed. But I'll follow up on that, Vaughn. And yeah, I mean, if I could get 50% plus one, man, I'd be stoked. I'd be stoked. But I believe they did change that now to require a general. You know, it makes no sense to me. I think in a nonpartisan race, you would save so much money. The county or the state would save so much money if we just did one election. I mean, why would you need a primary and a general if there's no partisan? It's a nonpartisan. There's no party nominees. Then one race, one time, one shot at the general. That's the winners declared. Yes, thank you. The charter did change. Yeah, I kind of thought so. But yeah, I mean, that's it makes no sense, right? You're not. There's no need for a primary if there's no party. The primary was to have your party nominee move on, right? That's the whole history of why we had a primary election. But if in nonpartisan races, it just it's just a hassle, and it's just more cost to the government. So maybe that's something we got to look at changing at the state level. But people enjoy elections. They enjoy the parties. They enjoy the campaigns. I mean, campaigning is like, in my opinion, it's like exercising. You know, it's difficult to get started. Like when you said, I gotta go work out, versus once you start, then once the energy is going, then it's so much more fun. It's kind of like campaigning. It's like, you get up in the morning like, I got that talk story today in Kalaheo. This was yesterday. It's like, you get some anxiety a little bit, and but once you get there, it's like, yeah, I'm excited, and I just love listening to people because we don't get that opportunity. If we don't communicate with them before the issue rises, then you're too late, right? That's why it's so important to have this government set up where people can reach out and be, number one, acknowledged and listened to, but also number three is to be responded to, and that is what I plan to bring. Crash Green, what is one problem on Kauai that the county government has discussed for years but failed to solve, and what would you do differently as mayor to actually fix it? I mean, I think we talked about that earlier, and I think that is our critical infrastructure. I think our landfill, wastewater, we've been talking for decades. We've hired so many consultants, spent thousands and hundreds of thousands, probably millions of dollars in consultants' fees, and really nothing to show for it. We continue to spend money on repairs on facilities that should be replaced. A good example is the Wailua treatment plant by Lidgate. That needs to be relocated. We've been warned already, and yet we continue to fund the repairs, emergency repairs on that, rather than just move the facility across the highway to, we have an opportunity to go across the street, across the highway on DHHL land, but there is no movement. That is really one of the key reasons. That two reasons I talked about, the landfill and the wastewater systems here. Not very attractive for campaign platforms, for getting votes. But I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you why I'm running. Because I could not, and I had this discussion with my wife. I said, I'm not terming out. I have 2 more terms on the council. I probably would get elected, probably would stay as the chair. But then I'd be working again for an administration that is satisfied with the status quo. I cannot do that no more. We need to take action on the wastewater plant. We need to take action on the landfill. These actions that are going to be taken are not going to be pleasant for everyone. But we cannot wait any longer. Simply cannot wait any longer. So I mean, that's to me, that's the top two things that we have talked about and talked about and talked about. But for some reason, we've never got it done. And there's many. It's not a simple solution, but my point is this: if we had the proper mentality 20 years ago, with administrations back as far as Brian Baptiste is when I got started. I got elected to the county council when Brian first got elected to the mayor's office. If back then we had a 40-year plan, an infrastructure plan, a wastewater plan, a solid waste plan, and we consciously stayed with the plan, we would not be having this discussion today. So that is why I told my wife, honey, I would rather run for mayor and lose than run for council and win and beat my head on the wall for another 2 years trying to get another administration to do what should have been done 20 years ago. That is a reality. And, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, guys. I'm not here. I'm not going to beg for your votes. I'm just telling you, that's my motivation for running. Because for 18 years, this head has been hitting walls with solutions that I felt were quite, I won't say simple, but were easy to execute. It just required the right decisions to be made that weren't made. So yes, the county still survives. Yes, we continue to operate. But, you know, our whole park system, our restrooms, our parks, when the grass is taller than the kids that are playing in the field, that bothers me. I don't have the authority to call the parks director and say, hey, get you guys out there and mow the yard. And that is the frustration. Let me get back to some of these questions because we are running out of time. We need to focus on Kaua and West Side. So much attention to North and South that we are forgotten county. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think the landfill also requires us citizens to be willing to change our daily habits, recycling and composting. Deborah, you bring up a good point. I'm not sure when you came on, but I talked about we need to divert everything possible prior to disposing of our trash, which means curbside recycling is going to be a topic that is going to be explored. Now, that's not going to happen overnight because that takes a huge infrastructural change, but that's where I want to be. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, we could have implemented a very successful curbside recycling process that will limit the number of, or limit the trash that goes to the landfill. You're absolutely right. We need to divert everything we can. And that is my plan. If you talk to any administration that we have or had, they'll tell you, oh, bro, it's too expensive. Well, so what? What's the cost now? Because we didn't do it, what's the cost today? What is the cost? Well, the cost is we got a landfill that's going to be filled up in 3 years or 4 years with nowhere else to go. That's the cost. What's going to happen then? So, Deborah, you are 100% correct. 100% correct. But it is making it convenient for the citizens and residents to recycle. And I believe that there are enough models out there for us to follow that it's not something that is not attainable, and that is something that I plan to work very hard on. County commissions can act as a backstop, encourage independence, and not a mere rubber stamp. Commissions are important. Another good question from Mr. McDowell. So if I am successful and I become the mayor, you will see a notice go out, like a job notice, for all commissions. And I am looking for a winning team, Ed. I am looking for a team, not just in appointed employees, but in commissions that want to win, that are not afraid to do what needs to be done to win. I do not want a commission that is a rubber stamp commission. I want a commission that's going to test the administration. I want a planning commission that's going to ask questions. I want a police commission that's going to ask questions. There needs to be some level of knowledge on those commissioners of the subject matter. So I'm going to treat it as if, unfortunately, we don't pay our commissioners. But I'm going to treat it as if they were applying for a job, because that's what we need. We need, across the board, we need commissioners that And we have very good commissioners. I'm not saying we don't. My point is we got to fill those commissioners, to your point, Ed, with commissioners that are not afraid to do what is best for the community. And that's how the structure works, not rubber stamping. Thank you for that. That's awesome. I like that question. Agreed. Planning starts and it takes time to get it rolling. It is not an overnight fix. Um, I came on after. Okay, no, no. Thanks for bringing it up, Deborah. Appreciate you again. 645-040243. If any of you want to talk story after this, just give me a buzz. Does the county have CIP in place for the next 5 years? Also, do we have a rating system for the roads and bridges? Mahalo for your insight. Yes, Kevin, we do have a CIP in place, and that is a CIP budget that will be aggressively reassessed if I get to be the mayor. We have projects on those books that are tying up millions of dollars that we know aren't going to be done. So, yes, we do have a CIP budget. There is a list of priorities. But again, we are only going to take the money from our taxpayers that we need to accomplish the mission and not to bank money in pockets that we know we're not going to spend. Do we have a rating system? Yes, they have a computerized system now. That is actually, I have been researching some other counties in the United States of what they use on how they prioritize their road repairs. And there's some very interesting technologies out there today. So again, that's why I get excited, because I'm not afraid to change the way we've been doing things. So yes, Kevin, CIP, yes, needs to be reassessed. And then the rating system they do have a rating system in place, but I'm not sure how effective and efficient it is. Cherie, what's up, Cherie? Raposo, send the coffee. Oh gosh. Again, guys, if you guys like good single region coffee, quietvalorcoffee.com. Check it out. It's good stuff. All right. Susan, yes, West Side needs a lot of work, needs a facelift, beautification. Not going to disagree. Adult and adolescent residential outpatient substance abuse treatments, please and thank you. Yes, Marty, I know that's your passion. I mean, I've seen you. That is, I'm telling you right now, that if we cannot find the funding for that adolescent center, I will make sure that the county, I'll press the governor, whoever the governor may be. I think we need to go in a half-half partnership and fund the operation to get that doors open. But I am not opposed to funding it 100% by the county. I'm not, because it's that much needed. Now you see how the attitude changes, because we're talking about the health and safety of our kids. And I just had a call yesterday from a good friend that the grandson was suicidal. And nothing. Nowhere to go. We need a county auditor. Listen, guys, I'm going to clear this up right now, because I know Gary Hoosier has been making a lot of noise about the auditor. He sent me an email with a list of questions. I answered him. I said, listen, yes, I want a county auditor. If you have an applicant, someone that's qualified, let them know, send them away, we'll hire them. We have put that announcement out numerous times. It's a couple of things. The pay. But the pay is not set by the county council, it's set by the salary commission. The auditor, we fully support. It's getting the right auditor to get the job. We got resumes come from all over the world, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia. The auditor's position is critical, because they got to understand the culture of where we live. And when you need an interpreter to do your interview, it's kind of concerning. But it's not that we're not trying, but it's not a job that people are lining up to take. And again, because the pay and the demands. Yes, Sherry. And like I explained to Mr. Hoosier, is we haven't funded that position because, again, I don't believe in putting money in account and lines that we're not going to spend, because that's tax money. If we hire an auditor, it would take us, we would have enough time from the time we entertain the application and do the interviews, we would be able to fund the position through our bill process. So I'm not concerned about the money. We can find the money from other areas, but it's finding the right person. See, auditor is an independent auditor. An auditor is not like a normal employee. So when that person comes in, he comes in on a contract that is relatively, it's a protected position, and it should be. I agree, but it's finding the right auditor for the person. So if any of you know anyone, including you, Mr. Hoosier, send them our way, because it's easy to go out there and say, "Hey, the council wants to fill that position." We currently do performance audits. We have audits running right now on public works. We have audits running on OPA. We have audits running in the performance audits that we contract out. We're not doing it internally. I would much rather have an internal auditor. But again, it's not that we don't want it. It's required by the charter. And, that's what frustrates me the most when, people go out and they say things, they take things out of context. And I've learned not to engage because it's not worth it. They get their little likes and they get their angry responses, and that's all good. The fact of the matter is every single member on that county council right now, I know I can speak for every one of them, wants to fill that position. You got to get applicants. See, it's not like I'm going to hire my friend who had helped me on my campaign. He didn't know the qualifications, or she doesn't have the qualifications, but I need to reward them. That position, you cannot do that. You should not do that with any position, but that position needs to come with experience of government auditing, because there is a yellow book, which I have read. I actually applied for that position after 2018. I was a white-collar investigator, forensic investigator for financial crimes, and the council felt, rightfully so, because I'm not an accountant. I'm not an auditor. But I figured, hey, you know what? I can investigate those things. I'd love that job. But I did not get hired. And I support their decision not to hire me because I'm not qualified. If it was a political decision, I would have got hired and I'd be riding the wave doing what the council wanted me to do. And that's, again, we got to learn how to do the right thing. So, yes, Sherry, I support. If you guys know come on, guys, share this video with everybody. You know someone that can be a government auditor, a legislative auditor, send them my way. Please. Please, please, please. Waipolia Apartments, sad. It's not the DHHL bought it. DHHL will own it. I'm not upset about that. I'm upset that the county failed to buy it. That project was built when Kauai Lagoons did a zoning amendment. I was on the council when we required them to build those units for affordable with a 10-year buyback clause. And when the 10 years ended, our county said no. The county administration said, no, we're not buying it. The county council, myself, introduced a resolution urging the administration to purchase it. So we would not displace anybody. We would have lifetime affordable housing, and the administration did not buy it. DHHL stepped up and they're buying it. Unfortunately, now we have non-Hawaiian people that's going to have to be moved out. But that's better than having that turn into timeshare. So we failed. I'm telling you right now, if I was the mayor, we would have purchased that project. Learn from New Zealand. They replaced the bridge. Yes. Right on, Kevin. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up because it is almost 8 o'clock. I want to respect. We'll be back next week, so you guys can tell your friends and join on. I'm going to have to get a moderator, though. Oh, my God. Please help the residents caught up in Waipolia Apartments. Also, Compost Kauai is now closing up shop. What do we do? Yeah, I'm going to try to get in this budget, try to get support from the administration to increase the composting budget, because I am a customer of Compost Kauai. I am. I pay my $32 a month. They've just picked up my bucket yesterday, every Sunday morning. And I got the message that they are going to close. I don't want to see that happening. In fact, I want to see some funding that will expand composting, because it's just everybody can participate. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But yes, so I'm hoping that we can get the administration to say, yeah, we'll offer grants out to companies that can provide this service. Because that right now, as I said earlier, diversion is key. We have to divert. Everything we possibly can, we have to divert from the Kekaha landfill. And as far as the apartments, I have been working really, really hard with our county attorneys. We are looking at the relocation plan. I questioned the relocation plan that DHHL had for the residents. Basically, DHHL will be responsible for the moving of the non-Hawaiian people, the families that are living there, and they're going to have to cover the rent and the relocation costs. However, we just don't have inventory on Kauai. Some of the properties on that list that they were planning to relocate was on another island. It is not a good thing, and we are working again. You know, a lot of what we do, we don't have PIOs at the county council like the mayor's office, so you know, people don't really know what we do, but there's a bunch of us on the council that are actively working the Waipoli Resort, Waipoli Apartments issue because we are very concerned that those people will not be able to be relocated. And I'm not sure. The bottom line is the HHL is responsible for it. So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, Haunani, this will be the last question. Mahalo for clarifying a lot of the questions that people have on the thread. Oh, thank you. That was a nice way to end it. All right, folks. So thank you for the episode 1 inaugural coffee hour with Mel. Oh, God. Appreciate you guys' support. Listen, go to melformayor.org. Click the volunteer button if you feel like you want to help out and join our team. There's all different levels of support that you can provide. The best is, PIO is a public information officer. Public information officer is PIO. That question just popped up. But yeah, word of mouth. If you want to host a meet and greet in your area at a neighborhood center, at a pavilion, at a beach, get your friends and family together. We'll do the same thing, and we provide the refreshments and just sit down, talk story, and I'd be happy to do that. Signs and banners, if you want to do a mail out, whatever you guys. There's all levels of support, or you can actually make a financial donation as well. We are prohibited from doing a fundraiser, a fundraising event while the legislature is in session. That was a new rule change. We had something planned for April, but that now is going to be moved to May. You'll hear more about that later. But right now, we really need you guys all out to be spreading the word. Inviting people to join us on Mondays, I think, is going to be critical. We'll try to have a more organized process. I think we will have a moderator that can flash the questions on the screen, because I have a hard time going back and forth. But I love the engagement, folks. You don't even know. I won't say I had anxiety, but I wanted to make sure that we could make this work. I wanted to make sure that people would join in. I wanted to make sure that people would engage, because no one wants to do that publicly. So yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us. Again, spread the word. You can actually share this broadcast, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. Hit the share button, get it out there. But more importantly, invite more people to come next week, Monday at 7 a.m. And I'll promise you I'll improve this stuff. But anyway, until then, folks, I appreciate you all. We love you. God bless. We'll see you next Monday. Aloha.